Okay, so here is layout number 2, and I've got it all set out as per the directions for what Miss Kelly had put out for me. However, I wanted to show you guys before I started gluing everything down, the photos that I have chosen are of a little dirt bogging trip that the husband and kids took. And so clearly I've got ups and downs and lefts and rights. So the way that I wanted to put these, anyways, the way that I wanted to put these are like this, and then like that, with this one up here, and this one, nope, actually this one does not go. That goes on the other page. So this one and then this one right next door, but actually this way. Okay, sorry, I forgot how I wanted my photos already. So I want them to go like this. Now clearly I need a new mat for this one. I'm thinking I want a new mat for this one because I just don't like how big that one is. I want a mat for up here because that was, I'm assuming, supposed to be a journaling spot. I don't know, it's kind of weird. So, but I don't want to lose the aspect of my photo. So I'm not going to cut these photos down. I want to cut this one down just to about a 4x4, so that way I do have the gap in here like I want. But I'm debating leaving all of these photos or all of these mats the way that they are and leaving these gaps, just so that way I don't have a whole lot of, I don't know, leftovers because I didn't cut right, but I do have, like, my scrap pile is right here. So very few pattern papers at all, but lots of cardstock. So I have lots of matting potential for me to do. I might add, since this one is green, I might add a little bit of green to the layout and use some green photo mats, or I could flip this over to use the red, which kind of matches a little bit better, but the leaves are gone. You lose the leaves a little bit. So this is the way it's supposed to go. Ooh, I like that. Oh, I like that one. So, I don't know. Okay, I forgot. I didn't flip it over. So anywho, I just wanted to show you guys what the layout looked like and the potential for the photos and the photos that I'm actually dealing with, and then I want to show you guys how I solve my problems, which really aren't problems, because if you look at it, if you take away all the photos and all the photo mats, this is your base. And so it has a potential for all different types of photos. So even if I laid my photos back down without the photo mats, I have two going across here, which fit perfectly. I have one going, let me scooch those down, one going right there, which fit perfectly, even if I leave those there, which I probably won't, but that's still there. And then here are the other two photos. Again, without the photo mats. So am I really missing anything just because of the lack of photo mats? I'm not. I'm leaving the layout the exact same way. I just chose to do a different path with the photo mats. So anywho, I just thought I'd pop on real quick and show you guys that, and now I will finish my layout. Okay, so I thought that I would come back on really quickly to this layout took on a whole different turn. I brought this back in so you guys could see what the original layout looked like and then what mine looked like. So I took this one and I flipped it upside down, and I took this one and I flipped it. So that's where you get this, and that's where you get this. But then I also took all of these elements that were supposed to go on the shorter side, and I put them all over here and flipped them as well. So now what was the 3 across is now over here, and then this one and this element are now up at the top, and then same with over here. Now this I completely rearranged. I kept this kind of in the same spot here, like what you see, but I turned it on the side just to kind of, it fit better. Plus I really wanted to use this gray instead of the red that was on the other side. And then I shrunk this down. So instead of it being 5 by 7, I shrunk it down. Now, what else did I do to this layout? Clearly, clearly, it does not look like hers. I decided to pull out a little bit of mixed media. Now, when I pull out mixed media, the first thing I do is, whoops, I grab a little sample card, because I have not swatched any of my, I think they're pastes, mousse. This one says mousse, this one says paste. They act the same. I don't know the difference. Not educated enough, but I always pull out a sample card with the stencil that I want so I can see the colors. Now I pulled in a little bit of green. Now these are the two greens. Nope, this one here and this one here. These are the two greens that I own. And they look the same on camera. That's kind of weird. But one is like a really dark moss, and the other one is like a neon green. And this one's super shiny, if you guys can see that. Very shiny. And this one's not so shiny. Shiny, but not as shiny. Now that's the difference. So this is a glacier paste, and that's the darker green. And this is a mousse, and that's the neon green. So clearly they're two different greens. They showed up on my paper as two different greens, but they weren't this sage green. I did not want to bring in, you know, a bright green. I wanted to keep close to the color. So I even brought in my favoriteest of all time, gold, thinking I was going to bring in gold, but then I decided not to, because I have this mousse. Now it's called burnished bronze is what it is called, but it came out almost identical to the red that was backing all of my photos right here, this red right here. So when I brought back in, excuse my reach, when I brought back in all of my red photo mats, like so and like so, you get the idea. These three would have been across right here, which I did keep like that because I do like the breakup. Now that's a lot of red, and these mixed medias kind of get lost. So I did choose to recut all of these. I know I don't waste them. They won't get wasted. Like I said, I still have 5 more layouts to do with this, so they're not going to get wasted at all. So I brought in the green. I went to my cardstock, and I was worried about this card having green on it and then there was no green anywhere else. And now I really, really like it. I backed this card in the red though, so that way it kind of brought 3 different places for this red to be in. And then I brought the red in. I just said that. Silly goose. And then I also, after I did the stencil, which I used this stencil that was given to me at a retreat by my roommate, Janet Fritz. She is Galaxy Girl here on YouTube. And then, I love this. I don't know about you guys, but this makes my heart happy. I usually use a palette, and to me, I didn't feel like I could control it. This, I felt like I had complete control. I did have a little bit of seepage going on, but it's a messy page anyway, so I'm okay with that. I still need to practice not having seepage when I do this, but I loved the application of this little rubber spatula by Tonic. It's Nouveau. It's a Nouveau product. So clearly, where has that been all of my life? I don't have anything glued down, by the way. I just kind of wanted to see placement, wanted to make sure that everything that I had going on was going to work. Did I cover up too much? Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, what else did I do? I also brought in an ink pad that I have to tell you went flying all over and got like this. I mean, it went everywhere. Just forewarning you, we made a mess. So I brought in an ink pad and I brought in a bunch of these little faux mixed media stamps that I have and made the splatter marks. So when the truck, when the tracks are going through the page, they splattered everywhere. And I really like how the dead space is now gone. Now, her dead space, Kelly's dead space, was gone using her elements, using her embellishments and stuff. So she doesn't have any clear white space. But as I was moving everything around, I ended up with a lot of white space. And so now I'm very, very happy with how this is going. I did leave these cut. I just kind of like it broke up, and then I backed all of my photos in white using my photo placement cards, because I have, a million of them. But I will space these out so that way there's a gap in between them just like before, but I want the white of the photos kind of not, like, you guys can't see that. Let me try zooming in. I'm not very good at it. Whoa, that's the wrong way. You saw my messy desk. There we go. So right here, I want this to hang over. So I want the green and then the white to hang over. And then that way, when I have, the gaps, you can see the gap, you can see this, and then it's going to hang over as well once I glue everything down. I also have a few stickers that I picked out that I would like to add to this layout, but not too much. This is basically how it's going. No. That's awesome. I need to practice that. Messy desk, you don't want to see that. Okay, so this is basically how it's going to look as I glue everything down. But I wanted to come back on and show you guys how I took a pre-made page, all the elements. I mean, I did not take anything off except for I changed the photo mat color. I mean, that was it. That's all I did, was changed the color of the photo mats. So I don't feel like those are going to be wasted because I can use them on other projects. They are the size of photos that I use. And so yeah, I'm going to glue everything back down. Might fast forward you on that one just so that way you guys can see the process and see if I change things up, and I will add embellishments, and I will show you the finished product at the end. Thanks. So I debated about cutting all of this out only because really you saw how the layout was going to go together. I'm not going to change very much. And as I was editing that part of it, I thought, why didn't I record the mixed media? And the reason I didn't record the mixed media is because I'm still kind of new at it. I'm still trying to figure out a rhythm of how I can, I don't know, like make it not so messy. I guess it wouldn't be called mixed media if it wasn't messy, but I look like a duck out of water when it comes to playing with mixed media and things like that. So yeah, I'm not ready to record that part yet. So what I'm doing here is putting in the photo mats, and like I said, I wanted a little bit of it to hang off, and then I wanted a little bit of it to be like gaps in between, and I wasn't sure if it was going to be gappy enough for when I put it in. So I wasn't sure if I needed to cut that centerpiece down a hair or not, because I wanted a gap in between my photos as well as the photo mats, and then have the photo mats hang off. So I really was expecting a lot from from those one little pieces of paper, or not one, but from those pieces of paper. So now I am just putting the pre-cut pieces down, and I used as little as possible. So like I knew that I wanted the yellow to pop up, but then I decided not to have the yellow pieces go all the way down because they were going to get covered up by the corrugated print pieces. So I'm just kind of placing everything back how I want it, make sure that they're right where I wanted it, because again, I used the stamps to fill in the gaps around the photos, and I can't stamp after or not photos, but elements. And after, I put the elements down, I can't stamp. I am using liquid adhesive over the mixed media only because the double-sided tape doesn't do very well over there, but I'm not putting liquid adhesive on all of it only because I don't like how it buckles my paper. I don't mind using a little bit for an embellishment here or there, but on a large piece like a photo, it seems to warp my page, and I'm not really sure if I'm using too much or however that works. But yeah, that's just that. And then I use an embossing buddy to take the sticky parts off of a sticker. That's what I just did for that truck, so I can pop it up. And then I'm just going to take my liquid glue and put my my wood pieces down. I don't even know what that word was. And I mean, that's just about it. I think I am done as far as putting this layout together. It went by pretty well. I'm thinking it did. Yeah. Well, I guess I'm not quite done. I thought I was. So, oh yes, I went to go and get a roller date stamp, and I always practice those first because they always seem to roll awkwardly. And I'm using this little piece right here to cover up the reflection in my husband's truck window because he throws everything up there, trying to keep the eye on what it is supposed to actually be in the picture instead of the reflection of. So here are the close-ups, and I will have still photos in case you guys like seeing those. I think they seem to finish off the end of the layout, but this was a fun day, a fun thing to scrapbook, and I hope you like it. Thanks.